It's finally here, my 100th video on YouTube. And those scan lines will tell you it's something special. It's the last ever game officially released on the Sega Saturn. Released by Treasure in 1998, ported from the arcade STV hardware. Probably the most famous shoot 'em up ever written.
Hold on, get to the fucking point. What they want to know is it's coming out on Xbox Live in about September.
And the game is the one and only Radiant Silvergun. Yes, this is the review of the Sega Saturn version, but as the bulletproof Brummel confirms, it will be coming out on Xbox 360. So let's get started then. The game features quite an interesting set of options, most interesting of which is the ability to save your power-up progress, so that when you want to continue the game, you can start off with the weapon power that you last saved last time you played. And on this game you can see there's an A, a B and a C in the top left-hand corner relating to the power of your A, B and C weapons, and every sort of 10 minutes during the game, those weapons will power up as you play and as you use the weapons and score hits with them. So you'll see over the course of this review, the weapon power will be increasing as I've come back to the game and have continued it with the powered up weapons. There's also an arcade version which lets you play the stages in a very slightly different order, and gives you the option to choose which stage you continue on after level 3. But we're playing the Saturn version here, which includes the story mode and animated cutscenes by the famous Japanese manga house Gonzo.
And during the game's boss battles, I will be mutating into a number of weapon forms.
Yes, as this game features 7 different types of weapons, including the legendary Silver Sword, which you just saw there. Gary will be using various weapon techniques to beat the numerous bosses during this game. Has been described as a boss battle by some, although I think that really does the title down in many ways.
The third boss here is an utter bastard and needs the power of the moustache breath high-heeled stiletto.
The game is actually very clever because each boss battle requires a slightly different strategy. This one requires shooting from different angles, and you have to avoid those pillars as you move around the screen. Other battles require you to get up front over the top of the boss and use your rear fire Vulcan. Most bosses though do suffer damage from your front fire Vulcan most effectively. Now throughout the levels there really are some lovely sections, including where you get these slightly larger motherships pulling up alongside you, along with a variety of smaller aliens that you can just deal damage to and build up some hits. A lot of the bosses have different sections.
This boss is particularly wide and requires the all-round firepower of a leather fanny pack, or bum bag as we call it in Plumage.
This is a little clip from the story, which is this diamond-shaped thing, is overpowering the planet Earth and requires the assistance of the mothership and the Silvergun fleet to destroy it. It's a very good cutscene, and they're moving through it again. Here's a little close-up of the SLG 3000 scanline generator with the assistance of the SVGA CGA scaler. There's an awful lot of variety between the levels. This one features a particularly lovely Neo-Tokyo style cityscape, swooping elegantly into space. And there's a lot of 3D effects, Mode 7 style effects, scaling, rotation, you name it. 3D polygons, in fact, for that matter. and the game majors on all graphical fronts, it has to be said. It's a gorgeous combination of 2D sprites and 3D effects. With the beautiful backgrounds in this game, it really is a feast for the eyes. Undoubtedly the prettiest shooter I think I've ever played on a console. Here again you'll see strategies for defeating the boss, absorbing the pink power buttons with your silver sword and then dealing a powerful blow. Got to say the silver sword is probably the nicest smart bomb style weapon I've used in a shooter. It's just got a lovely feel to it. You can really give them a double cheek slap.
These fast-running gullets require the hair form or turbograsser to run, keeping up with the speed of the craft.
And what you see here is yet another of the game's trump cards, which is the strategic boss battle. Not only do you just have to dodge bullets, you also have to dodge scenery and choose the route through quite fast-moving scenery. There are some later stages, which you'll see shortly, where I think the game overdoes it very slightly on the running through scenery front. It does have some fairly long sections, like this one, where you have to stay within the confines of this sort of laser encasement around your ship. If you touch the sides, you die. This is a beautiful boss, this one, Nasu. It's the quintessential worm alien, and Silvergun does it proud. A nice boss battle, that one. And later on in the game you'll see yet another worm type creature. The return of the worm. So in between stages, it's not just a boss battle, although there are probably around 20 bosses in the game. You do get these nice sections where you can gun down enemies for points. This is one of those slightly annoying strategic bosses which changes form. You have to dodge bullets coming from all directions and then find a way of taking out the main gun towers. There are 4 of them on this one. And getting into place whilst dodging all of these bullets is a real tricky challenge, and you normally lose a lot of lives on this boss. One thing that you need to know about this game is that it is long. There are probably over 10 stages to the game, and the stages are long as well and feature several bosses. This one here is easily one of my favourites. The screen goes into Vectrex mode. Lovely vector graphics mixed with a few effects. Nice sound effects as well on this one. And you need to deploy a few different tactics to get rid of that blob at the end. Absolutely gorgeous level. Let's see that again with scan lines. You'll see that my ship power has suddenly gone up. When I recorded this section of gameplay, I was on a 22 level. So here's another cutscene with the diamond as it attacks planet Earth, and the guy in charge, I think he's called Tetsu, in charge of the mothership, deploys the fighters ever closer to defeat it. I think that's what the plot is anyway. Not one for reading the plot, especially when it's in Japanese. It does have a good plot. Anyway, there you go, more Mode 7 style 3D backgrounds and more impressive boss fights in your hands. Now this level is one of the ones that gets a bit fiddly. You have to shoot through these sort of spring-like gun and turrets, and obviously when you use your Silvergun, a silver sword, it enables you a brief spell of being invincible. Or you just have to shoot the turrets until the things spin out of the way. And this is another one of those tactical boss battles where you're in a confined space and you're getting shot at from all angles. Great fun. Same boss here, it just takes about 5 different forms. Reminds me of a Strikers 1945 stroke Guardian Force style tank battle, that one. Some nice laser effects there. You will see that type of laser effect being used in the game Judgment Silver Sword and Wonder Swan. Some nice effects in the background there. And more general shooting. Until we find ourselves with our second worm boss.
Since this guy's energy bar is longer than the run-up to the 2012 Olympics, I've decided to take the form of a lion that will courageously conquer this tentacled beast. Don't you just love turquoise phallic laser blasts coming up your rear?
You'll be doing well if you get past that boss battle with no continues. So it's another warning and another boss battle over a rather gorgeous gold terrain. That's your mothership on the right there.
The deluge of bullets coming from this craft requires the sprayed energy of a Phillips juice maker as I take the form.
You'll see that there's this destruction rate percentage at the end of every boss battle. I only got 40 there because I just decided to go for the head. If you decide to go for the limbs, you get somewhat higher percentage, and it's always nice to get a perfect 100. Flying over the landscape now, and we find ourselves with a boss not dissimilar to the first boss on the immaculate PC Engine shooter Sapphire. Plodding mothership. There we go, there's our mothership again, and towards the final confrontation. Plenty of waves of enemies there if you're into chaining. The secrets you see there are for basically wiping out attack waves using particular weapons, and there are also these yellow kind of cow objects that if you use your homing missiles you can identify because they're invisible, and you get quite a large bonus for taking them down. This is another restricted space boss battle, which I'm quite fond of. Yet more waves of enemies. And this lovely polygon shooting energy tower. Really satisfying actually dodging these lasers. They're the sort of bullet pattern that makes for a nice boss battle. So our mothership looking a bit beat up there as we descend to the final confrontation. This reminds me of Res, this section. Stage 6A, the origin. There's the diamond. It takes on its first attack form, which is a pathetic ball of energy that goes down.
Thus begins the ultimate boss confrontation. Here, I will assume my ultimate fighting form. The form that will reveal a dark side. The form that will enable victory.
The next form is the turtle, I think. There's an interesting boss. Several wildlife themes through the final boss battle on this game, requiring deployment of all your different weapons. It's worth saying that when the Xbox release comes out, it will be in high definition. I think they'll be keeping the general feel of the game though, so the overall textures and polygons and graphics will will all be in keeping, but it will get a bit of a makeover. I was playing the first 6 levels or so with an upscaled image, 1024 by 768, and the images you see now are using 640 by 480 with alternative scan lines. Right, so here we go, the final form, and it's the Running Man again, definitely a res moment.
Final form engaged.
You're an ugly bastard, Stardust.
I am the spirit of Stardust. Some of your friends are here. Would you like some coffee? I did not kill anybody.
Time to give you some scores, me mates. Radiant Silvergun Sega Saturn Graphics 10. It's a corker. I'd also say the packaging and instructions were very, very nice. I'll give the sound a 10. It's got an impressive soundtrack and some gorgeous sound effects. It's got a good sound effect jukebox too. Playability gets an 8. Not its top score because it's quite hard. Value for money 5. This'll cost you over 100 quid. But overall it's cool, mate.
That was the 10 Minutes Turbo Show. Thank you for watching.